explore a unified paradigm that brings together physics, life sciences, neuroscience, Vedanta. Our goal is to understand the deeper relationship between God, consciousness, and reality. So science explains how things works, but spirituality explains why they occur, why they matter. But consciousness is the deepest unresolved mystery at present. To understand the reality in fullest, we need a proper framework so that we combine both mechanism and meaning together. To get this, we may include physics, biology, Vedanta, and philosophy, any other available domains. So we need to combine here mechanism as well as meaning together. You can see this image. What we see in the left, what we see in the right. Are they same? So materialism fails to explain subjective experience. Subject A, it says no, it is 3. Subject B say that no, it is 4. So materialism fails to explain subjective experiences. So quantum physics challenges the objectives as well. Philosophy also struggles to explain the why perceptions. So in these connections, we need a deeper study. Let us try to study the continuum. So the paradigm which will combine God, consciousness and understand the reality. The God is grounded with the conscious existence. We'll be going further details to that through Vedanta. And the fundamental aspects of consciousness, is it emerged or not emerged? Then understanding the reality by co-constructing the observer and observed. So this will bring an unified worldview to set up our journey in understanding the reality. So science maps the brain, the eyes, the neurons, the cortex, but cannot identify the observer. This leads to 3 major problems. One is heart problem, binding problem, and when we talk about AI, which simulates intelligence, but we cannot derive awareness through AI. So these challenges continue. When we try to understand the determinism versus non-determinism, suppose you want to make a house. If some of the bricks is poor, then your house cannot be built. So we cannot build a deterministic framework using non-deterministic micro level things. So micro level is quantum and macro level is the classical physics, the Newtonian physics. Newtonian physics we perceive, but in quantum physics, when you go to the subtler aspects, the determinism do not work. It is non-deterministic. So here some theories like quantum gravity is an active research. What to explain beyond 10 to the power minus 43 seconds. So there physics comes with quantum where we have more role to explore consciousness. This wave particle duality, you both know, all of you know that this both particle and wave nature. So that is a challenge. Then Schrodinger cat for observer effect, because quantum particle exists as probabilistic wave. So in quantum mechanics, both particle exist in superposition, but the moment we observe them with wave collapse, then the definite state cannot be observed without any proper observer. So that compels the observation. You can see if that it is kept in both two states. If that hammer falls, then cat will die. If that hammer open, cat is alive. The famous example, suppose you met some professor at the age of 90 and you want to meet him after 10 years. So what is the probability of he is alive or dead? Both possibility exist in the mind. So this kind of domain has to be understood with the deeper analysis of quantum and Vedanta. Entanglement. I am from computer science background. So in quantum computing, what is happening? So the coin has two sides. 1 and 0 you name coin. So that is bit. But what is qubit? If you spin it, unlimited possibilities. So qubit with the various states and superposition of various states, then using the interference, amplifying the correct answers and removing the wrong ones. Then you find here is a big thing is entanglements. In 2022, 3 Nobel laureates comes with this entanglement discovery. So what is here? You can see if these two elements, two electrons are far away, still they are entangled. I have not kept that image. Entanglements means they are combined. One state and another states are combined. One state will derive to the next state. That is entangled. How it is possible? Even light can travel, whatever speed light can travel, if the distance is farther than that, still the entanglements happens. So these mysteries we are already evident, we are able to execute in a quantum computer. How these possibilities do exist? Go to the next. So quantum measurement and consciousness, this von Neumann and Wigner, they proposed that measurement chain ends only at consciousness, when this implies that consciousness is not a product of matter. It is ontologically different and it is fundamental and it is primary. It is not the point is it emergent? The answer here, we study from those two famous scientists, von Neumann and Wigner, that it cannot be emergent. So reality crystallizes through awareness. Unless we keep awareness, self-awareness, self-referencing, we will not be able to provide the conclusion on consciousness. So quantum principles mirror our inner experience. If you understand.
Excuse me, 2
quantum
minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, I'm going faster. Yeah, quantum leap. Skip little. Non-locality. Non-locality I just explained, and wave collapse. So that is a conscious choice. So when we see some wave collapses happens, it is the creative decisions, creative choices by the universal consciousness, which you may refer as God, needs solutions. When we try to understand this from Vedanta, then we will come to have a better understanding. I will skip this and go to Vedanta. So Vedanta describes these 3 layers: physical, psychological and spiritual. The famous equation given by spiritual, the word coined by Dr. T.D. Singh. The genome is the construct of the physical body, then psychological, the mind. So mind is like we see the things through speck. Suppose I am using speck, then I have to see through the speck. What I see through the speck, if it is a colored glass, then I will see a color. Similarly, when we see through the mind, we see the different subjective experience through the mind. But the psychological mind itself is not seeing. or the physical eyes do not see the things. Then who sees the things? It is the spiritual who sees the things.
Yeah. Can you conclude, sir?
Yeah. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita explains that just like sun illuminates entire universe, so the conscious being, the Atman, illuminates entire body with the consciousness. Then final synthesis is that through Vedanta, through life sciences, through physics and all other systems of study, reality cannot be merely mechanically understood. It has to include consciousness and interconnected with a meaning and purpose. So this interconnected purpose and meaning will able to lead us to the divine consciousness, what creates this universe and what gives us the fine experiences. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you, everybody.
It was an excellent presentation. Any questions from
So you have mentioned about quantum mechanics and the like universal consciousness. Quantum mechanics is a subject of science. Does science fully explain the unified consciousness we have mentioned? Does it mathematically or you can say theoretically, does it have any concrete framework to explain consciousness? Because consciousness, as you have mentioned, it is a formless, eternal. As soon as you try to model it, in fact, science grapple with the one issue, that observer effect. As soon as you try to measure that element, it will just evaporate. So how are you concluding that there exists a pure consciousness rather than nothing?
So that same I will explain from the quantum computing example. So the state 0, state 1, suppose that coin both sides, state 0, state 1. So now when I spin it, there is unlimited possibility. I don't have a coin, suppose this one. You can see this is blank side and this is the remote side. If I spin, when you as an observer, you are sitting here, I am now seeing the remote. So being an observer, the result is that this is remote side. So I spin it. As an observer, I am seeing this is blank. So when I include observer, the problem is resolved. The state is resolved. Without observer, it is not getting resolved. So here what I purpose from Vedanta is that we need a conscious observer, which is universal consciousness or the creative impetus, whatever you say, is required to explain this theory. Yeah.
Is it possible for everyone to reach that level of observation?
Can you please hand over the mic? Is it possible for everyone to go to that level of observation?
Because unless you observe that and claim that it is there, so is it possible? Because at the end you are saying that there exists something, like there is some pure consciousness. So it is unless we as an observer get into that process, we cannot understand that. That's for your final large conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. It is possible that everybody can observe, but there will be difference in the experience. The subjective experience of you and me will be varying, and the approach you take. Suppose you take the axioms of Vedanta, or you take the axioms of Christianity or Islamic traditions, whatever tradition you take. When you follow these axioms and you experience certain things, your experience may not be exactly matching with another person's experience. But when you unify the major aspects, like when you results, just like interferences in quantum computing, is that you will find the conclusion is that God and consciousness as universal aspects.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I would like to request that you can continue the discussions later because of time constraint. I'm very sorry to cut this
Thank you
discussion
very
here.
much.
Next, I would like to invite Ankas Mistry from Jadavpur University to present a talk on counterfactual thinking and its logical structure, a possible world semantic approach.